I would like to call it upcycling.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, For this episode, my story starts in London. I'm here for the International Woolmark Prize, and I'm speaking to some of the key players in fashion, and I'm very curious what they have to say about sustainability, how they think the future of fashion will play out, and if sustainability can be sexy. So let's see. I'm in a hurry. See ya! So here we are, we're backstage. What do you think is the future of fashion? Because there's so much going on when we're talking sustainability. So I would love to hear from you.
I've been saying for years and years that I feel the future of fashion is the past of fashion. One of the most sustainable kinds of fashion is haute couture, because it's made by hand, it's not disposable. You give it to your kids or whatever, you keep it. It's something precious, you treasure it. If you're spending £3 on something, it's not valuable to you. The cheapest something is easier as to throw it away. We need to reevaluate our concept of value, our notion of the price you pay for something reflecting what it's worth, what it's worth to you. I mean, that's what I kind of see as the future of fashion.
I think that's beautiful. You had to move away from it to see it again and appreciate it.
But in everything. That's a bottom-up thing, and it filters up to designers, and then designers put pressure on manufacturers. Yeah. It's kind of a revolution.
Yeah, we're in the midst of it.
We're living it.
It's almost like it's touchable.
We're living the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited too. Yeah. I'm excited for the changes. I feel like it's definitely happening.
Yeah.
But also fashion always gave us a sense of hope.
Yeah.
And
joy.
Yeah. Let's go for that. The only one I could ask you to is how are we going to keep sustainability sexy?
For me, first of all, it's impossible to say susceptibility. So I say eco-friendly. It's impossible to say. So it's going to be very sexual. It's going to be very sexual the way I'm going to say that. So
sustainability.
No, of course, but it will not be possible to be sexy. Why? You don't have to be covered. You don't have to have a
But what is
thing.
sexy? What is sexy, anyways? Like, what is
it's
it?
like my daughter say, less is more.
So we should wear less.
We should wear less in a modest
Problem
way.
solved.
So what is this for?
This is for her Instagram.
It's for a viral series. Do modeling.
This is how she talks to models.
Models.
You behave so well.
Models, do modeling. What about the other leg?
We're here about fashion.
We're here
for fashion.
Sheep.
What do you?
I don't like sheep's milk either, or sheep's milk cheese, but I like sheep.
There's sheep on the dikes in Holland. You need to see it to believe it.
I guess so. I have to see it to believe it.
So what do you do to be sustainable?
Well, number one in the office, I said to everyone, look, we're not using any plastic here anymore. Often people overthink this whole thing. Oh, I've got to stop and wear hempen. And is that you do your best and you do better, and things come around to support because your consumer habits are changing. So the straws is a good example. There's not going to be them anymore. Suddenly that's a shift for everyone.
Yeah.
Be on the right side of history. Do the right thing. Don't make yourself crazy over it. And you'll find if you're a good and decent person, you'll get there.
I think the world is changing. I'm very, very excited that it's a younger generation that is kind of telling the industry how to improve their practices, and the industry is responding. And the great thing is that the big luxury brands that have the financial resources to support really in-depth investigation can act as a resource for these young designers as well.
So are we rolling? Good. All right.
I think fashion is this amazing vehicle that impacts all of the world. So my question for something like the Woolmark Prize is that as we move forward in this new era, how do we make sure that we're not just reinterpreting the challenges that we've always had?
Yeah.
How can we bring new voices in, which is what's brilliant about this next generation, to ask bold questions.
Yeah.
Like, how can we make our entire process sustainable? How can we make it inclusive and accessible?
Yeah.
But also in terms of our environmental impact, that is going to affect more marginalized people first.
Yeah.
The only people who can afford to be climate change deniers are those who are in the top 1%.
Yeah.
So in order to best have the most inclusive and intersectional solutions, we need to bring those people to the table.
You're so right.
So just Thank you.
Thank you
Enjoy.
so much.
B-roll,
So I'm here
guys.
with Anya. We're searching for the good light as always.
And now I want to be
recording.
speaking with the designers that took part in this competition. It was incredible how they are able to be transparent with their production. And of course, nothing is perfect yet, but I think the industry is working in order to make it possible. I think more and more, what is exciting is that more and more money is going into innovation.
Yeah.
And you have huge groups buying labs in order to put money into it to get better materials that they can use. It's not about buying 20 kilos of clothes every year. It's about investing in pieces that you really love.
So this was it for tonight. I've talked sustainability all night. I've learned so much, and now I'm off to Amsterdam to meet Ronald van de Kemp and Duran Lantink, and I'm really excited to see what they have to say. And I'm gonna have a chat with Cameron Russell, so more sustainability talk. I'm on my way to meet Duran Lantink. He's a quite controversial fashion designer, and I'm going to talk to him about his work and his rebellious designs.
Hello. Hi, Duran. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So how did it all start?
I think it started from a very young age. So I started cutting up the old clothes from my mom. So
How old were you?
I think 9 or 10.
You've been a big problem with me.
But in the end, I think it was for a good cause because
Yeah,
now I'm doing
you got the inspiration.
I know, right? So this is a mix of high-end designers where we create unique pieces out of, because for me it was very important that we sort of slow back in the mass producing with luxury items. So I started thinking about like how can we create something which is actually unique instead of like mass producing.
Your true passion
Yeah.
is cutting designer clothes and mixing them.
Yeah, mixing them into new pieces.
And then that became consciousness and also sustainable.
The whole sustainability and the whole green thing became a subject later, but it was like it's really from the core of my being to cut up old clothes.
How do the designers feel about this? Because you're mixing, matching your own taste. And
Well, a lot of designers that I met during the LVMH were actually very positive. There were also a few designers that wanted to do a collaboration, but I'm mixing different designers, so it doesn't.
it's quite sensitive.
Yeah, it is. But they, especially now, it's a really hot topic in a way. It is a good thing for me that it's a hot topic because people start understanding that it's actually necessary to do something with clothes. That
So would you say time is with you?
Yeah,
Because
time
if you
is
would
with
do,
me,
if you would have done this 10, 20 years ago, people would not have approached you in the
no,
same way.
No, I don't think so. I think it's still quite kind of rebellious, but because of time and because of the consciousness, people are starting to accept it. They were actually complimenting me like, yes, I'm so happy. Where's my piece? And then, oh yeah, I saw that one.
So they feel honored now.
Yeah,
when
they,
you're mixing your
yeah. Well, not all the designers probably, but
So there's a few who are not
no.
don't want to be mixing.
No, there are a few that are fine with mixing, but they don't want to be named. Deze is goed, toch?
So cool.
Ja, dit is
Oh,
echt...
this is definitely something I would wear.
Yeah, it's
This
nice.
is so me.
It's nice, right?
Yeah.
This is also one of my favorites.
Well, this is what upcycling looks like. Heb je ook nog zo'n kutbroek liggen?
Ja, maar ik weet niet waar ze zijn.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
People will remember that forever.
I know. It's actually I graduated in 2013 with a 3D printed shoe. That was actually kind of a big thing. But then I got so scared that I would be forever the guy of the shoe. And now I'm the guy of the vagina pants. So it's like,
It got from one thing to worse.
yeah.
Do you land too? No. He's like, no, show me the money. When I grew up, I had one pretty dress.
Yeah.
My mom would knit my sweaters. Looking back at it, it wasn't the best fashion, but it was very conscious. And then as a teen, I got into fast fashion because it was affordable. I could buy a lot. And how are we going back to slow fashion and appreciate fashion and buying long term?
Yeah. I hope people start buying less and start being conscious about what they're buying
And better quality. Because if you buy something that's a little bit more expensive and better quality, you'll have it for a longer time.
Exactly. And that's so important. Just to buy less and better quality is very important. Yeah.
Would you say for you it's all about changing our mindsets?
I think it is all about changing the mindset. And it's all about also new perspective. At this point, fashion is all about rethinking the whole business side of this industry. I think if you don't have the money to buy new designer clothes or really good quality, you can always search for vintage clothes. Like there are so many good vintage markets. There are so many good second-hand designer shops.
I feel like in a way we're all figuring out how to deal with how we can preserve our planet.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think you are one of the biggest inspirations in fashion that do that and have this message.
Yeah.
It was so lovely to meet Duran, and it's amazing to see somebody so creative being sustainable, and it was very inspirational. I'm at the atelier of Ronald van de Kemp, and I'm so excited to show you. He's been dressing, sorry.
Welcome to Amsterdam.
Ronald van de Kemp has been dressing Lady Gaga, Michelle Obama, Kate Moss, just to name a few, but I was one of the first. Hello, Doutzen. Hey! So it's really great that we could come here and show you what Ronald is all about and
of course,
your story.
I'm really happy that you're here because you're one of the first supporters of what I do and one of the first
I love your dresses.
women that wore one of our dresses and had so much impact for us. Yeah, I worked for 25 years in the fashion industry, always at the luxury level in New York and Paris and Milan.
Yeah.
And at one point, things started changing, and I felt sort of like the clothes weren't the same as they used to be. Clothes were getting cheaper and cheaper, so people started to look at clothes in a different way. And I wanted to make real beautiful clothes with love, clothes that would last, that people would take care of, and that would become part of their wardrobes. So I wanted to make a statement and say, people, do you know what you're doing when you're buying something that you throw away the next day? It's not a cup of cappuccino that you buy. No. You buy clothes. So.
Yeah, but then knowing that your whole collection is sustainable makes me more proud to wear it.
And it's guilt-free.
Yeah, you don't see it. It's just
exactly.
that you know it. Because that's the thing. Do you think sustainable can be sexy?
Well, this is what I try to show, like...
I know it is.
I
felt extremely sexy in your dress.
Yeah, you should be. You should feel it, because then it's fun. I mean, it should be fun. It shouldn't be about, just doing good. No one wants to just do good. You also want to look good. So
people cannot all afford because it's all couture, right?
Yeah, it's either one piece or limited edition.
But it inspires people.
Yeah, well, I hope.
So would you say that this was your defining moment of your success? Or is it...
Well, this was one of them. I think one of the first things was you. I think especially...
Me?
Yeah, because you wore a dress of ours.
Wearing it was so... I mean, the cut was genius.
Yeah, it looked really great on you, so...
That was like 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, five years ago.
Do you think at that time people were into being sustainable? Was that a thing back then?
I think people didn't really know and didn't realize. They just liked the clothes. And I wanted to be sexy, like I said before, you know.
So you didn't even talk about it first?
Well, I told them how I made it, but I didn't really make a big point out of it.
Yeah. We should also maybe get away from the phrase something that no one has worn before. Because why, if somebody has worn it before, I cannot wear it again?
You know, the beautiful thing is, for example, this Cardi B wanted to wear this dress, but it had been worn by all these people already, but she didn't care.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And she wore it, and
that's such a great message.
It's still a great dress.
I love that she did that. So if I would wear it again, it would be upcycling. Recycling?
Upcycling is when you have something and you make something better out of it.
Yeah. So that would be upcycling.
Yeah, you're making it better.
I would like to call it upcycling.
Yeah, do it. So this is sort of like our idea of making a fur coat, but then without making it in fur. This is made with all little pieces of leftover fabrics. A little village in Morocco where women, by doing this, they can make a living. You know, they make beautiful things, but nobody knows about it. So I want to put some attention to them as well.
I'm going to go home in this wonderful, glamorous dress. Bye! I'm going to give model activist Cameron Russell a call to chat with her about sustainability and her take on it. We grew up in the fashion world together, and she's been a dear friend ever since. It's hard to explain everything that Cameron does. So Cameron, go ahead and tell us.
Hi, my name is Cameron Russell. I'm complicated. Some people know me for this. Some people know me for this. You're overreacting. This is a real world. I'm really interested in social justice, climate justice, prison reform, campaign finance reform, feminism and anti-racism and creative activism, and I've been a model since I was 16. Some people myself included, do not know how these two things fit together. Can I be an activist and still work in fashion, this industry that creates so much waste?
A lot of us are thinking, what can I do to make change?
I don't think the viewer or you or I need to feel terrible that we own a Zara shirt or an H&M pair of pants. First and foremost, we all need to put pressure on the fossil fuel industry and the banks that are investing into the fossil fuel industry. We need systemic change. We don't need individuals to feel guilty for small choices about what clothing they buy or, what they drink this morning out of what container.
I feel like sometimes there's a challenge that I choose to work for certain brands in the past too, that that I'm not agreeing with, or when you just start, at the same time, because we work in this fashion industry, we now have a voice, and I don't want to start kicking against it as well. So, like, how did you deal with this? Because
I hear you, but I actually think it's in that complication that we can lead very effectively, which is to say, like, we have made mistakes in the past. So in that sense, we can appreciate the brand who's making mistakes. It's with that empathy and with that vulnerability that we can say, I now am taking risks, I'm pushing for change, I'm looking around and I'm seeing the future that is possible if we don't make change, and I'm afraid for my children. This is an urgent crisis. So I want to be all-inclusive and invite everybody into that change. I don't want to alienate. If you and I can sit down with 15 or 20 other women working at the same level, and we can become educated on these are things that we can ask brands to do, or we can ask brands together. We can all go to these brands together and say, can you do this? All of us are standing together. We want to be more ambitious. We can't wait for leaders anymore. It's beyond that. And especially in the fashion industry where there's just a few people that own so much of what's happening. We can't wait for them to come around. So we need to start building and organizing and thinking, what changes can we make? And that's just nuts and bolts, and anybody can do that in their community. People can do that at their school, people can do that in their workplace, people can do that in their town, in their faith community, whatever community they're part of.
We need to take action ourselves, educate ourselves. Well, this is a
It's not
start.
an overwhelming answer because I think the amount of work is overwhelming.
Well, I want to thank you for this conversation, and that, more to come, I would say, right?
Thank you so much for inviting me in to this conversation, this beautiful channel you're building.
Well, thank you for all you do.
Bye.
Bye. That's so amazing. She is so inspiring to me. The lesson I learned from this is that we need to keep having the conversation, that we need to take action, that we need to make ourselves knowledgeable. I feel responsible for creating the change. I think there's a huge responsibility for me in the fashion industry, but for you too. I will keep talking about this topic with my fashion peers, and I will keep you up to date, and I'll see you soon. Oh no, I almost forgot the most important thing, because if you want to stay up to date, and if you like the subject, and if you got inspired overall, please do a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye. Normally I'm really good at a hair shake.